Welcome 8th graders to task number 5 of your robot research project. And this task is all about learning how to research and things that will help you when researching. So a lot of students will just end up Google searching their robot, which is okay, but we can do it in a little bit more effective way when we use databases and go through the research process. So in this video, I'll have a quick shortened version of just explaining what needs to be done for task number 5. But then if you want to know a little bit more about how to research, the second part of this video will be going through a presentation that will help you answer some questions in your design notebook. So if you go to your design notebook, we are on task number 5. And we are going to learn the steps of the research process. And for your task today, you are responsible for answering these questions on the left-hand side, putting your answers in on the right-hand side. And once you're done with that, you're done with task number 5. And so in order to help you with these questions on the left-hand side, it says this presentation will help guide your research. And so I'm going to open this up. And if you want to go through this at your own pace, obviously you can pause this video. Otherwise, I'm going to do that in this video also. So we're going to be looking at what is a database, what is your task for this project that you're doing, where can I access valid information other than Google, and notice the valid information part, what are the best resources for your robot research, what are important keywords you should use in your search, what are some tricks for getting better results from the internet, and what resources and websites have you seen today that you plan on using for your robot research project. So I'm going to go through this presentation here, and remember at any point you can pause my video just to answer some of those questions at your own pace. But I'll try to go through this quickly. And so our learning targets, we're going to learn about the research process and the RMS database that will help you find reliable, valid sources for your robot. And then search parameters of things you can type in that will help narrow down your search rather than getting a bunch of broad answers. So quick vocab check, database. So that's one of the things you're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking for valid sources. And so internet junk such as Google, it doesn't necessarily mean it's reliable and you don't know where it's coming from. And so there are published sources that are considered valid, and that's going to be through a database. And so that's what I'm going to go through today. And the big question today is, how are you going to research your robot? How do you do that with any research topic? And to do that, there's a video that I'll play here.
connected using Bluetooth.
All right, so that video went through the 6 steps of the research project. They're listed here. In this video and for your task number 5 today, you're only going to really need to go through tasks 1, 2, and 3, or steps 1, 2, and 3 of this. We're not going to get to steps 5 and 6. We might touch on step 4, but I'll walk you through this in this video. So step number 1 for the task definition. What is it that you've been assigned? Choose a robot to research. Create a Google slide presentation to teach your classmates about the effects, use, and future of your robot. And so if you look back at your design notebook, that is question number 1. What is a database? So you can go to this Google slide presentation or use the video in here and just take this answer and putting it into the question. Oh, sorry, that's what is my task? So the database was already shown previously in the slide, but what is your task? It is right here, okay? So as we go through then the next one, step number 2 is information seeking strategies. And so when you think of, for your robot, where could you find information for your project? And so there are books, databases, internet, and people who are experts. And for people who are experts, which is great, that's a very rare one to find. And so finding an expert that knows about your robot, if you can do that, that's great, but that's not always possible for that. So I'm going to show you where you can locate and access information for your Robbinsdale for the Media Center website. So I'm going to play this video here. Remember, you can pause and fast forward at your own pace. Try one more time.
All right, so you are on step 3 of the research process. You have decided that you want to use the internet for your research project. So what you're going to do is you're looking for a database. You're looking for not the wild, wild west of the internet, but something that's been organized by some people that know valid resources. So to find those, we're going to go to the Robbinsdale Middle School library homepage. So come with me, go to your URL tab and type in ardale.libguides, already popped up for me, .com/RMS. So we're going to go to ours. That is going to take you right to our homepage. You can also just Google Robbinsdale Middle School Library homepage and it will also pop up. What we want to use are the resources that are here because these are databases. These have been collected by librarians and experts so that you get the best resources and valid resources and you don't really have to debate, is this good information or not? So you're going to click on the resources tab, that 3rd tab over, and then find your subject area that you've been asked to research. Is this an English language arts project? Is this middle school math? Is it science? Social studies has a lot of good databases, sir.
So I'm just pausing her video to jump in here real quick. For your robot research project, I encourage you to go to this one here, Science Reference Center. I think that's going to be the one where you get the most results for the robot search. I'll continue the video for a little bit longer.
And ProQuest and Procon.org that will also work for a lot of your other classes that you're being asked to research. Science topics and language arts topics also fall under Procon.org. So choose the database that you think works for you from this page, and there's lots of options. All right, so you are on...
All right, so that's where you can find that information in that website there. And then so for location and access, what search terms should you use, whether it's for Google or the database, using specific people, places, and ideas? Do not include the words of the following here. So I, me, you, your, his, he, him, to, with, from, the. You don't need to do that. And so when you look at the example for there's going to be multiple options that come up. So you can see it says use the negative sign to remove words. So for example, if you're searching for Prince and you want him, not the Prince of England, it would be Prince minus William minus Harry minus Charming. And then if you're searching for women patents. How many results do you get? And so if you take your time to do that, I'll do this right here, Google searching, women patents. And you can see that there are 63 million results when I just type that in. And when we go back here, we can now search women patent and then do minus shoes. And it goes down all of a sudden 20 million searches. And so that just helps narrow down what you're actually going to be searching for. And to make it more accurate, you can include quotation marks. And with quotation marks, that's going to make sure that those 3 words have to be together. Without the quotation marks, Google is going to look up anything with little, anything with red, and anything with Corvette. But by doing it this way, it has to find something that will have little red Corvette all together. So for example, little red Corvette. Still loading. You see there are 49 million results, but when we take those quotation marks saying it has to stick together, we get down to just over 1 million results. So that's one way that you will narrow down your search. When you think about your robot, how can you use quotation marks that's going to narrow down your search? And I'm going to go back to the checkpoint here. So some keywords that you can try, and this is going to be part of the answer in your design notebook of what resources you may use or something that hopefully you learned today. As you go back to your design notebook, keywords that you should use in your search or some tricks to get better results from the internet. And then hopefully you found a couple of places that you can search for different websites that are actually reliable. So once you're done with answering these questions, you can obviously use this information to help you with your research in the future.